This might be the first time I'll ever have to put a disclaimer like this in front of a video, but this review is going to feature some highly suggestive content that might not be suitable for children. So, if you're under the age of 18, either proceed with caution or stop watching now if that kind of stuff makes you uncomfortable. I'm gonna try and censor as much of it as I can, but if you really don't want to take chances, then click away if you wish. However, if any of my older viewers are interested, I'm also releasing an uncensored version exclusively on my Patreon page. You can see this along with other videos by pledging as little as $1 a month, and additional pledges get you more rewards like seeing all my videos a day before they come out, having your name listed in the special thanks section at the end of all my videos, and in the case of a Mr. Jake Winans, directly requesting me to review whatever game you want me to look at. Clearly, I'm not very strict about guidelines. Jake, I love you, and I really appreciate your support, but please tell me you went with this game as a joke. I generally try to keep things on my channel to at least a PG level, so games like this are typically at the bottom of my bucket list. And as someone currently in a very serious romantic relationship, dating games aren't really my thing. Not to say you still can't enjoy them whether you're single or not, but for me, I just feel there are other games out there more deserving of my time. Still, Jake requested me to talk about HuniePop, and he was gracious enough to gift it to me on Steam, so I'm willing to leave my personal bias hanging by the door and look at this game with an open mind. HuniePop is the creation of HuniePot, an alias used by some guy named Ryan Coons, who wrote, designed, and programmed the entire game. I have some memories of it when it first came out in 2015. I think I saw Markiplier play it for his channel, and I might have tried it once or twice after that, but I don't remember thinking much of it. Critics apparently loved it, however. Then it got a spin-off called HunieCam Studio, and it's also getting a sequel called HuniePop 2 Double Date. I don't know why I bring this up, because frankly, I couldn't care less. Let's just see what the old coon hound has for us today. Actually, the first thing that caught my attention was that when making a save file, you could pick between playing as either a male or female. And not to get ahead of myself, but this doesn't really affect the game that much. As far as I know, it only changes the girls' orientations to make them like whatever gender you choose. It is a dating game after all, so getting girls is all you have to worry about. Right off the bat, you're introduced to a girl named Q and are given a list of things to say to her. None of which I would actually say to a girl in this situation, but for the sake of this video, I guess I'll play along. Later that night, Q appears to me in my bedroom in the form of a love fairy. How'd you get in here? I'm calling the police. Now that's definitely something I would say in this scenario. I can already tell this game would be much more interesting if the main character reacted to everything the same way I would.
Hey! Ah! I'm Kiwi, the love fairy!
Ugh. Stupid bugs. But obviously, Mr. HuniePot assumes I'm an anime-obsessed, hopeless romantic who literally can't remember his own name right now, so that's not what happens. Instead, Q is here to help me improve my love life by forcing me to interact with girls and take them out on dates. I always thought that part of the appeal of dating games was to form relationships with the in-game characters naturally on your own. But here, it's like you're only forming relationships because the game is making you. Maybe I'm jumping the gun a bit here, but the vibes I was getting from HuniePop were a bit shallow and kind of patronizing. Nothing about the experience felt genuine to me. Even if I would form any sort of connection to any of them, it wouldn't leave me with the same feeling I get from interacting with villagers in Animal Crossing, for example. I could tell they really cared about me, whereas with this game, everyone is more like a nicely drawn side quest, something to be accomplished rather than a truly fleshed out character. Conversing with them is less fun when I say something humble and sincere and closer to how I really am, and then they make fun of me for it. Gee, thanks game. My self-esteem really needed that spit in the face. HuniePop has a very condescending tone throughout, and yeah, I'm not really a big fan of it. But perhaps the game can provide us with some decent gameplay to make up for that. So the best way I can describe HuniePop is that it's a cross between a dating sim and a puzzle game. You have a bunch of different girls to try and form good relationships with, and you can do so by talking to them, giving them gifts, feeding them, and taking them out on dates, which is where the puzzle game aspect fits in. I already mentioned Q, but there's also a fitness enthusiast named Kiana, a schoolgirl named Tiffany, her mom, Jessie, an overly sexual teacher named Aiko, a stewardess named Lola, a gamer named Nikki, a yoga nut named Belly, and this thing.
Nasty has hair? Ugh, don't even. Look who's talking, skank.
I don't like her. Each girl has their own profile that lists things like their favorite foods and favorite kind of gifts, and you're rewarded with more Hunie based on how closely you follow their criteria. Hunie can then be used to upgrade your character's traits, and the higher their level, the more points they get you when going on dates, but more on those in a sec. Your character is also equipped with a HunieBee, a smartphone that lets you access your inventory, shows you which girls are available to talk to at a given moment, and receives photos and text messages from said girls. The photos are well drawn, but don't seem to serve much of a purpose beyond giving you something nice to look at? Oh God, this was a mistake. You can get to know more about each girl by talking to them, and here you can ask them questions about their hobbies, birthdays, cup sizes, because that's important, I guess. But sometimes they'll check and see if you've been paying attention by quizzing you on things you've asked them about before.
What did you do? Write it down?
Well, not technically, but... Yes! I have no shame, especially since most of these ladies are either too bland for me to remember anything about, or teeth-shatteringly annoying like Audrey here. Not my Audrey, though.
She's a very nice lady.
I do love how some girls will test me to see if I remember something right after they just told it to me. Which leads me to believe that the girls are so bland, even they themselves can't remember anything about their characters. Hey, Tiffany, what's your favorite season?
I like summer.
Oh, cool.
Hey, what's my favorite season?
Well, it's summer.
Ah, you remembered.
Yeah, you literally just said that 5 seconds ago.
I like pavement.
Every girl also has a unique gift type, meaning you can buy things specifically related to them. Nikki's really into video games, so you can give her things like a controller or a power glove. Kiana's into fitness, so you can give her something like a water bottle.
Now this is a guy who understands me.
Yes, I am very much a guy who understand you. But according to your subtitles, you are also a girl who doesn't understands good grammar. Gifts and comestibles can be purchased in the shop using Moonie, or money, whatever. It's a form of in-game currency that you obtain from going on dates. Okay, let me tell you about these. Every date plays out like a Candy Crush style minigame where you have to match up 3 or more of the same color and rack up points to fill the satisfaction meter. You only have a specific number of turns to do so, but if you're able to max out the bar, your relationship with the girl you're going out with levels up. Every color on the board represents a different trait, romance, talent, flirtation, etc., and you get more points based on what the girl's most desired traits are. So if one girl prefers sexuality, then you'll earn more from clearing the red pieces. But there are also broken heart pieces, and wiping these out will diminish your score. If you're too reckless, in the heat of the moment, you could accidentally match these up and make things worse for yourself, so you've got to be really careful with how you plan your moves. Part of me wants to say these are the best portions of the whole game. They're definitely the most interesting. But they also feel constrained and limiting to a certain degree, because you can't click and drag pieces to any part of the board. You can only move rows vertically and horizontally. One could argue it's supposed to make it more challenging, but other puzzle games at least give you a little bit of freedom to complete them however you wanted. You can take a mind-numbingly simple concept like Tetris or Puzzle League and approach it in your own unique and creative way. I understand that HuniePop isn't primarily a puzzle game. I just would have liked there to be less restraints put on me.
We'll save that stuff for the bedroom, if you know what I'm saying.
I also wish they were a little more generous with progression. So when your relationship with a girl levels up,
Next time you go on a date with them, a higher number of points will be needed to fill up the meter. Now, if this only applied to girls at greater relationship levels, then that would make sense. Dates get more difficult the closer you get to a girl. That's perfectly reasonable. But going on a successful date doesn't just increase the score for your next date with the girl you just went out with, it increases the score for your next date with any of the girls, regardless of your relationship with them.
What?
Yeah, you could be stuck at the lowest possible level with one girl after already failing too many dates for it to even qualify as a first date anymore. But because you had such a swell night out with that other girl, your chances at getting with the first girl could just get slimmer and slimmer. Look at this. I just went on a date with Kiana, and hooray, it's a success, whoop-de-doo. Now I'm off to spend some time with Nikki, and notice how my relationship with her is on a much lower level than Kiana. I take her out on a date, and wow, you've gotta be kidding me. I'm still at level 1 with this girl. I might not even get to level 2 with her if dating everyone else is only gonna make this number go even higher. This is such a backwards design choice, and I'm pretty sure it was only put in place to eat up more of the player's time. Well, I guess it worked, because I spent so much time trying to work around this snag, going on more dates, but resulting in more failure. HuniePop is one of the most humdrum, demoralizing games I've ever had to play for this channel. Every minute I put into this game was like having a parasite latch itself onto me, sucking me dry of all my time and energy. Maybe I'm exaggerating a bit, but that's truthfully what I felt, and I will let it consume me no longer! I'm done! I quit.
Fuck you, you're cool, and fuck you, I'm out.
I really don't want this video to come off as half-assed because I really tried to get as much out of HuniePop as I could, but honestly, it just wasn't doing anything for me. I thought I could at least get some funny enough responses from the girls to maybe do a bit where I make it seem like an old gross guy is going out with them or something, but the game didn't even give me enough material for that. If I can give it some credit, the presentation's not bad. The quality of the artwork is top-notch, the voice acting's pretty good, and the music is nice, though it doesn't always loop properly. Songs tend to cut out for a second and then start over from the beginning. Regardless, playing HuniePop was, for me, a drab and repetitive experience that left me with a very empty feeling. But hey, if pretty girls and cute outfits are enough to sell you on these kind of games, then more power to you. Although, if that's the case, you're better off playing something like Crush instead. It has a more appealing art style and a more interesting cast of characters, the writing's very tongue-in-cheek and self-aware, and it's much simpler in terms of gameplay. It's basically Cookie Clicker with pretty women. And there's even a male equivalent called Blush, so there's something here for everyone. Though Blush isn't as good in my opinion, it's certainly better than what I had to play through today. So, Jake, not sure exactly what kind of video you were expecting of me, but I'm sorry if this wasn't it. I don't know if you were hoping I would like the game, or if you just thought it'd be funny for me to look at it at all, but either way, I still appreciate the support, and I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for me. But now I can't help but wonder if there's anything that could have made this game better. Ooh. What if? Thanks, dear.
Did you expect anything less?
Well, that was a trip. Anyway, Haldo, thanks for watching my first full review of 2020. And as always, a very special thank you to the patrons whose names are scrolling across the screen right now, as well as my superstar supporters for this month, Henry Newman, Jake Winans, and Rachel Rodriguez. If you'd like to support me as well, then please consider pledging to my Patreon page or becoming a sponsor by clicking the join button. These are totally optional, but it would certainly mean a lot to me. Also, if you're watching this on Vlare, then you can help support my content by subscribing. It's only, I think, $4 a month or something like that. I don't know, I just became a Vlare partner like last week or something, so I'm still kind of new to how the partnership works, but it would definitely help a lot if you did whatever it is you have to do to support me on Vlare. Well, anyway, links to my social media and Discord server are in the description, and if you want to stay updated on any of my future uploads, be sure to ring the notification bell if you're watching this on YouTube, or just stay subscribed or follow me if you're watching me on Vlare. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you look forward to everything I have planned for 2020. Got some new shows in mind, new kinds of videos. Hopefully I'll come up with a consistent live stream schedule, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens. With that said, this is Mark wishing you a happy 2020 and bidding you all a smashing farewell. Goodbye!